recall the moment curvature relationship, which we differentiate to get the shear force, and differentiate again, which gives dv dx. So the fourth derivative of the deflection with respect to x gives the negative of the uniformly distributed load. Now if we integrate this expression, we get the integral form of the shear force, which is basically integrating the uniformly distributed load with respect to x. And then integrating this equation again gives the bending moment. And we call these the equations for our conjugate beam. Now if we write the curvature as the first derivative of the rotation with respect to x, then that gives d theta dx is m on EI, and then separating the variables and integrating this expression gives an equation for theta as the integral of the curvature with respect to x, and integrating the rotation gives the deflection. So these are our equations for the real beam. So effectively the integrals for the conjugate beam and real beam are equivalent, except you have the uniformly distributed load in the conjugate beam expression and the curvature in the real beam expression. So if we can construct a conjugate beam with the same boundary conditions as the real beam, then the shear force in the conjugate beam becomes equivalent to the rotation in the real beam, and we can thereby do statics on a conjugate beam to obtain a shear force, and that's equivalent to the rotation. And this is best illustrated with an example. So given our cantilever subjected to a point load, it has a linear bending moment diagram of minus PL at the support, and dividing through by EI gives the curvature. So this is our real beam. And now to construct our conjugate beam, we need to match the boundary conditions of the real beam. So designating these points as A and B, we know the rotation at A, being a free end, is not 0, and the deflection at A is also not 0. But on the other side, the rotation at B is 0, and the deflection at B is also 0 at a fixed support. And the shear force in the conjugate beam is equivalent to the rotation in the real beam. So that means the shear force at A is not equal to 0, and the bending moment in the conjugate beam is equivalent to the deflection in the real beam. So therefore in the conjugate beam, the bending moment at A must not be 0. And on the other side, theta B is 0 in the real beam, so the shear force at B is 0 in the conjugate beam, and the deflection at B is 0 in the real beam, so the bending moment at B is 0 in the conjugate beam. So the support that mimics a non-zero shear force and non-zero bending moment is a fixed support. And on the other side, a free end has 0 bending moment and 0 shear force. So these are the boundary conditions for our conjugate beam. And finally, we need to load our conjugate beam with the curvature from the real beam. So therefore minus W must be equal to the curvature, and the curvature distribution is linear, and minus PL on EI at the support. So therefore W is PL on EI, and when we get a positive W, the load acts downwards. So effectively, applying our curvature from the real beam as a load on the conjugate beam, we get the following result. And this has a magnitude of PL on EI. And now we can apply simple statics by cutting this beam on the left infinitely close to the support, thereby exposing a shear force and bending moment. And we take the left-hand sign convention, and the resultant acting on this beam, which we'll call FR, is equal to 1/2 by the base of the triangle by the height. So that gives PL squared on 2EI. And by statics, this force resultant is equal to the shear force. And the shear force in the conjugate beam is equivalent to the rotation in the real beam. So therefore, our rotation is PL squared on 2EI, which is well known for a cantilever. And now taking a sum of moments about the support, we get minus M minus the force resultant by the moment arm, which is 2/3 L, and that's equal to 0. So therefore the bending moment is equal to minus the force resultant, which we calculated as PL squared on 2EI, multiplied by the moment arm. So that gives minus PL cubed on 3EI. And as we said, the deflection in the real beam is equivalent to the bending moment in the conjugate beam. So that's our deflection of the cantilever. And as we can see by the deflected shape, the rotation that we obtained is positive, meaning it's anti-clockwise, and the deflection is acting downwards. So we've got a negative result. Please subscribe, like and comment to help me reach more students.